out, Mr. Flufflestone. Oh, titties. Bible time! Welcome to It's Bible Time. Big shout out to this guy. It was all his idea. Welcome to It's Bible Time, where all things the shift. Everybody welcome Molly. Everybody welcome Liz Tavish, who's going to play Molly in The Shift, an extremely lovely human being. As well as Paris Pastels, also an extremely lovely human being. Saving the most beautiful for last. That guy from Lost and Hawaii Philo. Oh, I almost forgot. Jordan Walker Ross. More like Jordan Limper Ross, am I right? Stars in a hit podcast called What's His Limp? Check it out.
And how could we forget the incredibly talented and lovely Rose Reed? We couldn't.
Trinity Fellowship. Wow. Just wow. Welcome to It's Bible Time, where I read from the Bible. Today we are in Job. Then Bildad, the Shihite, replied, "Domination and awe belong to God. He establishes order in the heights of heaven. Can his forces be numbered? On whom does his light not rise? How then can a mortal be righteous before God? How can one born of a woman be pure? If even the moon is not bright and the stars are not pure in his eyes, how much less a mortal? Who is but a maggot? A human being is only a worm." Then Job replied, "How you have helped the powerless, how you have saved the arm of the feeble. What advice have you offered to one without wisdom? And how great insight you have displayed. Who has helped you utter these words? Whose spirit spoke from your mouth? The dead are in deep anguish. The dead are in deep anguish. Those beneath the waters and all those that live in them. The realm of the dead is naked before God. Destruction lies uncovered. He spreads out the northern skies over empty space. He suspends the earth over nothing. He wraps up the waters in his clouds, yet the clouds do not burst under their weight. He covers the face of the full moon, spreading his clouds over it. He marks the horizon on the face of the waters, for a boundary between light and darkness. The pillars of his heavenly quake, angst at his rebuke. By his power he churned up the sea. By his wisdom he cut Rahab into pieces. By his breath the skies become fair. His hand pierced the gliding serpent, and these are but the outer fringe of his works. How faint the whisper we hear of him. Who then can understand the thunder of his power? Job's final words to his friends. As surely as God lives, who has denied me justice, the Almighty, who has made my life bitter. As long as I live, as long as I have life within me, the breath of God is in my nostrils. My lips will not say anything wicked, and my tongue will not utter lies. I will never admit to you that you are right till I die. I will not deny my integrity, will maintain my innocence and never let go of it. My conscience will not reproach me as long as I live. May my enemy be like the wicked. May my adversary like the unjust. For what hope have the godless when they are cut off, when God takes away their life? Does God listen to their cry when the distress comes upon them? Will they find delight in the Almighty? Will they call on God at all times? I will teach you about the power of God. The ways of the Almighty I will not conceal. You have all seen this yourselves. Why then this meaningless talk? Here's the fate God allots to the wicked. The heritage of a ruthless man receives from the Almighty. However, many his children, their fate is the sword. His offspring will never have enough to eat. The plague will bury those who survive him, and their widows will not weep for them. Though he heaps up silver like dust, and clothes like piles of clay, what he lays up the righteousness will wear, and the innocent will divide his silver. The house he builds is like a moth's cocoon, like a hut made by a watchman. He lies down wealthy, but will do so no more. When he opens his eyes, all is gone. Terrors overtake him like a flood. A tempest snatches him away in the night. The east wind carries him off, and he's gone. It sweeps him out of his place. It hurls itself against him without mercy as he flees headlong from its power. It claps its hands in duration and hisses him out of his place. Interlude. Where wisdom is found. There is a mine for silver and a place where gold is refined. Iron takes from the earth, the copper is smelted from ore. Mortals put an end to the darkness. They search out the farthest recesses for ore in the blackest darkness. Far from human dwellings, they cut a shaft. In places untouched by human feet, far from other people, they dangle and sway. The earth from which food comes is tranquilized below its fire. Lupus lazuli comes from its rocks, and its dust contains nuggets of gold. No bird of prey knows its hidden path. No falcon's eye has seen it. Proud beasts do not set foot on it, and no lion prowls there. People assault the flinty rock with their hands. They lay bare the roots of the mountains. They tunnel through the rock. Their eyes see its treasures. They search for sources of the rivers and bring hidden things to light. But where can wisdom be found? Where does understanding dwell? No mortal comprehends its worth. It cannot be found in the land of the living. The deep says, "It is not in me." The sea says, "It is not in me." It cannot be bought with the finest gold, nor can its price be weighed out in silver. It cannot be bought with gold of Ophir, with precious onyx, or lapis lazuli. Neither gold nor crystal can compare with it, nor can it be had for jewels of gold. Coral and jasper are not worthy of mention. The price of wisdom is beyond rubies. The topaz of Cush cannot compare with it. It cannot be bought with pure gold. Where then does wisdom come from? Where does understanding dwell? It is hidden from the eyes of every living thing, concealed even from the birds in the sky. Destruction and death say, only a rumor of it has reached our ears. God understands the way to it. God understands the way to it, and He alone knows where it dwells. For He views the ends of the earth and sees everything under the heavens. When He established the force of the wind and measured out the waters, when He made the decree for the rain and a path for the thunderstorm, then He looked at wisdom and appraised it. He confirmed it and tested it. And He said to the human race, the fear of the Lord, that is wisdom. And to shun evil is understanding. Job's final defense. Job continued his discourse. How I long for the months gone by, for the days when God watched over me, when His lamp shone on my head, and by His light I walked through the darkness. Oh, for the days when I was in my prime, when God's intimate friendship blessed my house, when the Almighty was still with me, and my children were around me, when my path was drenched with cream, and the rock poured out for me streams of olive oil. When I went to the gate of the city and took my seat in the public square, the young men saw me and stepped aside, and the old men rose to their feet. The chief men refrained from speaking and covered their mouths with their hands. The voices of the nobles were hushed, and their tongues stuck to the roof of their mouths. Whoever heard me spoke well of me, and those who saw me commended me, because I rescued the poor who cried out for help, and the fatherless who had none to assist them. The one who was dying blessed me. I made the widow's heart sing. I put on righteousness as my clothing. Justice was my robe and my turban. I was the eyes to the blind and the feet to the lame. I was the father to the needy. I took up the case of the stranger. I broke the fangs of the wicked, snatched the victims from their teeth. I thought I would die in my own house. My days as numerous as the grains of sand. My roots will reach to the water, and the dew will lie all night on my branches. My glory will not fade, and the bow will be ever new in my hand. People listen to me expectantly, waiting in silence for my counsel. After I had spoken, they spoke no more. My words fell gently on their ears. They waited for me as for showers, and drank in my words as the spring rain. When I smiled at them, they scarcely believed it. The light of my face was precious to them. I chose the way for them and sat as their chief. I dwelt as a king among his troops. I was like one who comforts mourners. That has been it for Job 25 through 30. Thank you for joining me in today's Bible time, where I read from the Bible.